Welcome back to another episode of Buckle Up with the Boys here with your host here, Drew Billy, with Nate Stice, Trevor Dinsmore, and special guest Jeff Wehler. How are we doing tonight, fellas?
Very
Doing
good.
Great.
Good.
Glad to be here, man.
Wonderful.
No, it's an honor and a privilege to have Jeff on here to hear about his journey, and we got a lot of good questions lined up for him here. And Nate's going to start us off. Go ahead, bud.
Yeah, man. So Jeff, native of Elk County, great place to grow up, like all of us. We're all from there. I want to know about how it's helped you in your life, and maybe also challenged you in your path to becoming a professional baseball player. What can you say about the good and bad of, getting to this part of your journey from Elk County as a now professional athlete?
Well, I'll be honest, dude. Elk County is a pretty sweet place.
Right.
There's a lot of great people, great community. Growing up in a town like this or a county like this, kind of feel like you learn life lessons that you wouldn't really learn anywhere else, whether that would be, hunting. I feel like a lot of people do a lot of their own housework around here. You know what I mean? So growing up here, you kind of learn the little gifts like that, or skills, I should say. And it's about it. Like I'll probably move back here at some point, which I honestly can't wait, because I'd love to raise my kids around my family and, kind of help the people coming up, So, and as far as that goes, and just, coming out of here for baseball or any sports, it's a little difficult for sure. You don't get the exposure like you would in Pittsburgh or Philadelphia, you know what I mean? But I played a lot of travel ball. So when I went out and played travel ball, I was playing against those teams from Pittsburgh and playing against those teams from Philadelphia, I played, I think, before I graduated high school. I bet you my senior year, I think I played in about 22 states.
Wow.
I played about 22 different states. So that's a pretty neat thing to say. And that's where I got my exposure. So, if you really want it, you got to go chase it. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah. No. I agree.
Hell yeah. Absolutely. I guess I got the next one here. So Jeff, when did you start your baseball career? And I know you have a couple older brothers. How much were they an influence over your development as a young athlete?
I couldn't even remember when I started playing baseball, dude. I was probably that young. Always played with my brothers, They always enjoyed playing with me. So my dad actually played baseball in college as well. So They saw that I had interest in it, and we just kept playing baseball, and I kept playing up with my brothers when we'd play in the backyard. And I was always playing with guys older than me, so I don't know if that was a big help in my career or not, or where I got my ability to play the game. But yeah, I'd probably say that's about it.
Jeff, and this is a great question here too. The Wehler family, your family, there's 4 kids in there, all went on to be, college athletes. Have you ever put any thought into how special that is? That's like not a common thing at all. And what do you think made that possible? You know what I mean? I mean, that's wild.
Yeah. Dude, I think honestly, it's just the support and competitiveness of the family. I think everyone always tries to be better than the other. You know what I mean? And that's the competitiveness that we have, and we still have it. They don't play anymore, but I'm still trying to strive to make sure that I'm the best athlete in the family. You know what I mean? And I can get somewhere. And I don't know. I would say a lot of support from family members, and then just the competitiveness. You know what I mean? And then, I would probably say a little bit of genetics go into it as well. You know what I mean?
Right. Of course.
Right. Something I guess I, didn't prepare that I should mention is your brother-in-law was also a college athlete as well. So it's, you are all really around it, man. It's definitely pretty cool to think about. Another thing, I don't know how much you think about it or how much people, put football with Jeffrey Wehler, but they certainly should when they think back on the senior year that you had for the Flying Dutchman of St. Mary's area. You hadn't played football maybe in your whole life or at least in a very long time. You go out for the team and you're all state at safety. I want to know about how fun that year was, how much you look back on that senior year and going out for that team. What can you say about that special season, and being part of a class that I think had 17 seniors in that 2016 team, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'll say it till this day. That was probably the most fun I've ever had playing a sport. Football was really fun. Just something I always wanted to do. Never really got to it. I played in 7th grade for the junior high team, but didn't play much. So it was kind of like a wash year. And then I just ended up kind of getting away from it a little bit and wanted to play a little bit of golf, wanted to travel for baseball a little bit more, and never really wanted to get hurt. My parents never wanted me to get hurt just in case. Someone wanted me out. They could have just tweaked my ankle a little bit, you know what I mean? I could have got hurt, but no, I was happy my parents let me play my senior year. And at the end of the day, I think they're really happy I did too, because they enjoyed it. They're glad I, had the success I had and I got out free of injury.
Yeah. Heck yeah.
Right.
Good stuff. Good stuff. So
Yeah.
multi-sport athlete in high school, you move on eventually and go to Youngstown State for your first 4 years of school. What made Youngstown State a good fit for you? And also, I want to touch on how did you deal with the pandemic and how that affected your season at Youngstown State, as well as your recruiting? Like we touched on before the show started, you were one of the top prospects in the Horizon League at the time that, everything kind of shut down and everything changed with baseball. So, yeah, why was Youngstown State a good fit, and how'd you deal with the pandemic?
Yeah, man. So I would play earlier in high school. I'd play with some dudes who ended up going to Virginia Tech, Virginia. We had a dude go to Florida. We had a bunch of guys. I was a late bloomer, so those guys were always really legit. They matured at a young age, and then I kind of slowed down a little bit because they would grow a little bit more than me. But I wasn't really recruited highly out of high school. I got recruited by Canisius, recruited by Youngstown State, St. Bonaventure, and then a couple D2 schools. Really love St. Bonaventure.
Yeah, Cobanus.
But just location-wise, like campus-wise, Youngstown was just a great place. You know what I mean? When you were on campus, it was really nice buildings. They put a lot of new money into that place, and the facilities were just pretty nice. So that was kind of why I chose there. This coaching staff was welcoming me with open arms, giving me an opportunity, and it was just a great place.
Yeah. No, and then, transitioning from Youngstown State, Jeff, you go on to play at Pitt, the ACC ball. How exciting and enticing was that opportunity for you? Like, what made you want to go play ball at Pitt?
Yeah. So, I mean, obviously COVID happened. I didn't answer that part of Trevor's question, but I guess I will now a little bit.
Right.
No, dude, that was a tough situation for everyone. You know what I mean? Like we talked about at the beginning of the show, Nate and I did. We touched up on it. It's just they took the draft from like 4 rounds to 5 rounds, and they cut a lot of teams. So guys that would usually get picked up a little bit later didn't end up getting picked up that year. And after that year, I ended up playing my redshirt junior year at Youngstown State, and I played pretty good there again. And then I felt like I had a great opportunity with the couple years that I put together at Youngstown State to transfer out and enter the portal. And that was one of the coolest experiences of my life, because I was talking to 3 SEC schools, LSU, Texas A&M, Kentucky, Ohio State, protect them a little bit, but they were down. They were down that year. And then obviously Pitt. So it ended up coming down to Texas A&M and Pitt. And I ended up going out with my buddy and his dad in Youngstown one time. I just went back to Youngstown to just figure it out. You know, it was the second recruiting process I was ever involved in, but it was a pretty big one because I was getting calls from, you know, big schools, and it was cool that the talent that I had was getting recognized and the talent that I actually worked for. But I remember sitting there and my buddy's dad said, it's your senior year, man, and be cool if you went somewhere close to home so your parents can come watch you play your last couple games if, you know, it is your last couple games. So we ended up having a few drinks over that and ended up calling Pitt the next day and, you know, announced my commitment to him for my senior year.
Wow, that's awesome. I just got to say, if people are watching from outside Out County, that's not a common thing. The schools he just listed off there are finding interest in an athlete. So, Jeff, I knew I was going to find things out about you, Jeff, but now you were here. Now you're like to the ceiling. So that's pretty cool. That's yeah. I just had to throw that out there.
Yeah. Cool. And I'm sure stressful, Jeff. You know, there's not many people you can call in Elk County that have ever been in those situations that you've been in to have that many, you know, large institutions and programs, you know, coming after you. So, you know, I'm glad that you handled that. And certainly I think you picked the right place. You know, I'm glad that your parents could be there, you know, for those games. Well, let's talk about coming out of Pitt. You had a really good year there. You know, your team was very, very good too. You didn't get the call to get drafted. And for what it's worth, I don't really know how. You know, I don't know how. It makes no sense to me to this day. You could have let this be the end. You know, you could have let this be the end and maybe even cross your mind that it might be over after Pitt. But I'm glad that you never gave up. You ultimately get signed into independent baseball and then eventually become a minor leaguer. Can you kind of talk about the road to independent baseball, spending a little bit of time there and then getting that opportunity, you know, with the Blue Jays organization to finally make a dream come true and play for a major league franchise, you know, for the first time?
Yeah. So, dude, Pitt was the best college year of my life. There wasn't a doubt in my mind. You know, you're playing in ACC conference, which is arguably the best conference every year, stacked up to the SEC. Right. A great coaching staff, dude. I'd take a bullet for all of them. You know, they treated me well. They pushed me, made me, you know, the player that I am today. I'm not going to take anything away from Youngstown. Youngstown got me to where I could have been, where I was at Pitt, and then Pitt, you know, kind of taught me off a little bit. And yeah, man, it was wild. Graduated from there, got a degree from Pitt. Didn't really hear much about the draft, so you know, I kept training because the draft is about, I think, a month maybe after the season ended or something now, or a month and a half. So I just trained just in case I would end up getting a call. You never know. And then I ended up just saying I was a little disappointed that I didn't get a call, but what can you do? You know what I mean?
Right.
Then I just finished out that year, that an extra month of baseball technically, and with the Mahoning Valley Scrappers. That was a good time. Met a lot of great people. Homer Bush was my coach, who was World Series champion. And then after that year, dude, I was done. Like, you talked about me giving up. I was done. I was done for about 4 months. I didn't do anything. I quit. I started taking interviews for jobs. And, you know, my dad would always bring it up at the dinner table. He'd always be like, dude, I think you should give it one more shot. And, you know, there's a couple of fights when he would just keep bringing it up. And it just ended up becoming let's not talk about it at all. You know what I mean? I don't want to talk about it. I made my mind up. And that's how that came about. So I was done with baseball for about 4 months. And then it ended up just hitting me one day. I started praying a little more. It's not that I never really prayed, but I actually started making it a thing every day. And it just kind of hit me one night that, I did get a lot of short ends of the stick, and I'm not where I wanted to be. Like there's a lot of things where things could have went a different way, and I could be sitting, in the front row, but it's not how it was. So kind of sat down and thought to myself that there's a lot of cool stories out there. You know what I mean? Some people have it easy, but I mean, every day, sports is romantic, man. There's always some cool story out there where, someone ended up making it, and here's their story. So I kind of wanted to make my own. You know what I mean?
That's great.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I just want to know about how you found out about, how you got into independent baseball a little more after that, made minor league baseball summer league, and then getting the call with the Blue Jays. Can you kind of touch on how that worked out, how you got those opportunities over the last, less than a year here?
Yeah. So when I made that decision to play again, I started training for a month again, started kind of looking for places, reaching out to people. And then I ended up getting a call from my former manager, Homer Bush, who coached me at the MLB Draft League. He said he was going to the Independent League and he wants to bring me along with him. He said it's an older league, it's a legit league. He goes, they don't really bring too many young guys in this league, and they're skeptical on you. But he's like, I told him if I want to accept this job, I want to bring this kid along with me to be our shortstop.
Oh, wow.
So
Wow.
I ended up agreeing with that. I signed the contract, and he brought me in as a shortstop. And I played with 2 World Series champs on that team, and a couple big minor league games or names. So dude, that was a cool experience. I'm playing ball with a bunch of AAA MLB guys, and you're facing arms all the time that used to pitch in the MLB, and ended up having a few good at bats there. And I ended up getting a call one night. It was I didn't have my Wi-Fi calling on, and the place I was staying at in New York City there was no service there. It was on Staten Island, kind of in the middle of nowhere in Staten Island, but I didn't have my Wi-Fi calling on, and my coach was trying to call me, but it wasn't going through. I was watching Deathly Hallows Part 1 and having a Busch Light at the time when my roommate came over and said, "Hey, dude, Homer's trying to get a hold of you." He goes, "Give him a call back." So I ended up figuring out how to use my phone, and I called him back, and he goes, "Dude, this is what you always wanted." He said, I'm happy to tell you that the Blue Jays decided to purchase your contract."
Oh, man.
So
That's crazy.
yeah, and the first thing, it was kind of like during that moment with the Staten Island Ferry Hawks, a lot of guys were getting cut. And I'd always call my parents and be like, "Dude, what if I'm next?" You know what I mean? Like, I'm a young guy here. Don't know if, the GM likes me too much, but felt like he liked me. But just in case, you always kind of have that. And I still do is, when's it going to end? And so they knew I was worried about that. But the first phone call I made after I got off the phone was my parents. And, I told them I don't play for the Ferry Hawks anymore. And they were kind of upset. And then I said I got signed to the Blue Jays.
Wow.
Crazy.
Yeah.
That's
Crazy.
nice, man. I love it. So a lot of this happened pretty fast, and now we're almost near the end of 2023 already. It's almost December. And 2023 was a bit of a fever pitch for you. We talked, before the show about you traveling to Vancouver, to Philly, to New York, to Florida, to all over these places. So you rose pretty quickly from independent ball to A ball, and now all the way into Double A, if I'm correct.
Yep.
So what was critical for you in being able to progress so fast? How did you adapt to that? And was a lot of it just like you've touched on so far, trying to prove yourself, trying to, make your dream come true?
Yeah, man. So I fly into Florida, and they told me I was going to start in low A when I was talking on the phone with them that Monday night when I got the call. And I was a little disappointed at first because it was like, I'm playing against a bunch of, major leaguers and high-end minor leaguers right now, and I'm playing pretty good ball. And usually when guys get signed out of independent, like that league, the independent league I was in, usually you head right to Double-A. So wasn't the case for me, which is fine. It's no big deal because I got the opportunity. But I remember being a little bit disappointed in that and kind of putting a chip on my shoulder that, I finally got my shot and I know I belong here. You know what I mean? So I started in low A. I only played 3 games. I only played 3 games a week until I kind of started proving myself. And, when I started playing real well and playing good baseball, I ended up playing, like 5 games a week. And then I played 5 games a week for a couple of weeks. And then I ended up getting called up when we were playing the Tampa Tarpons. We were away. And I got that call at 10:30 p.m. after the game that I got called in the coach's office. And they told me I was getting called up to high A and gave me the whole scenario about how the coaches were and, how the players were up there. And they told me my flight was at 6 a.m. tomorrow morning. So we ended up traveling back from Tampa to Dunedin. And I packed my stuff up and I had my car service at like 4:30 in the morning.
Oh boy.
They picked me up from the apartment and I headed to the airport and flew out to Vancouver. So there was that, and then I'm in warm-ups the next day. You know what I mean? I'm taking ground balls and I'm hitting, and they thought about putting me in a lineup, but they ended up not doing that till the next day, and played a few games there, played a little bit under a month there, and ended up getting called up to Double-A. So packed my bags again and Vancouver to Philly because they were on the road playing the Reading Phillies, and I made my debut that day, the same day. Or not the same day, but I got out east here at about 7:30 p.m., which the game already started, and just kind of hung out at the hotel, got some food, and the next day I was playing there for a few games, and 10 guys got really sick down in high A, and then I head back down there to, for the championship series. So a lot of traveling, man.
Oh man,
Wow.
it's crazy.
And to tie into the next question, Jeff, you touched on you were in Dunedin. I didn't screw it up. Vancouver and New Hampshire. What was it like living there? And I just got to say, it's going to be a 2-parter here. How difficult was that for you you're traveling all over, but then you're also going to have to play at a high level of baseball. How did you manage all that?
Dude, honestly, it's just kind of
that's wild.
Yeah.
You're excited, man. You're honestly really excited. I'm sure at some point, like, I was a little bit older, had a little bit, a couple more years under my belt and more experience. I'm sure a couple guys would take it, a little bit, they'd kind of be a little disappointed and not play it. But I mean, I was moving up all the time. So I was like really excited to get to the next spot. I was really excited to play. Even when I got called down, I was excited to play because, Vancouver last year or this year was the most dominant team I've ever played on. So it was fun to go back down to Double-A to high A to win a championship. You know what I mean? With dominant guys who just want to play the game of baseball, good coaching staff that lets you just have fun and play the game at a high level. So it really wasn't too bad, but I mean it did take a toll on my body when I ended up flying back down. When I got called back down, it was at 11:30 in the morning. I woke up to my coach, like 3 missed calls from him, and I was like, "There's no way I'm getting called up again." It's like my heart was beating. I was there for 4 days. I was there for 4 days. I played in 3 games. I was like, there is no freaking way I'm moving up to Triple-A right now. I ended up calling him back and I said, "Hey, what's up?" He goes, "Hey man, a lot of people got sick." He's like, "I hate to say this, but your flight's at 3:00." So I had
That's
to
why.
stuff up, and
Jeez.
I left from Washington D.C. because we were playing the Bowie Bay Sox at the time, and ended up flying back to Washington, Pasco, I think it was. Something like that. But I ended up freaking dressing for that game too. I showed up midway through the game and I had to dress because they were that thin down there. So I was down up in the bullpen.
Man, that's
Jeez.
crazy. There's no turnaround at all, man.
No turnaround, dude.
Holy crap. Just something I wanted to interject with really quick, not on the script. Did you see Jackson Holiday when you were playing? You know, a number one prospect in baseball. I wondered if you guys clashed at all. I wasn't sure if you were there because he's also scooting up the ranks here pretty quickly himself, you know, if you haven't heard.
Dude, it is the most impressive thing ever. You know what I mean? I'm 24 years old, and you know it's a tough game, but to do it as an 18-year-old, you know, you got to sit back and kind of think about that real quick. Sunday after the game, he got called up. We were playing him on Tuesday, so we were traveling from Reading, Philly to Bowie at the time. And I remember texting my brother and be like, dude, I don't care. I said, I'm going to do it real quietly. But I said, if I see that dude on the bases, I'm going to be like, hey, man, I want your autograph. I said, I'm not going to try to fanboy you right now. But I was going to be like, dude, you're legit. And I was like, don't tell me about this just in case I didn't get made fun of. But he ended up getting called up. So I didn't end up getting his autograph.
That's hilarious. Yeah, and the scary part for future ball players is there's another one on the way. He's got another brother that's also the number one recruit in the class of 2025. So, you know, if you remember the last name Holiday, you know, you're going to remember it from his father, Matt Jackson, and then the younger brother, which is pretty wild. But something more about our area is what I wanted to ask you about more specifically. The Toronto Blue Jays in the last 5 to 6 years have been all over District 9 for whatever reason. You know, Ryan Boyer from Bradford, Ryan Sloninger from Punxsutawney, and you from St. Mary's. Do you have any insight as to why? Is it luck? Is it someone looking at our area? What can you tell people about this from what you know? And how crazy is that in 5-6 years that we've had 3 guys get either drafted or picked up by the Blue Jays?
Dude, I have no clue. I don't got any insight on that. You don't know anything that's going on in there as far as an office. No, I got no clue. I played with Ryan Boyer up there. We won the championship together. Got a picture with the trophy, so that was pretty cool. And
yeah,
we will always BS about D9, and you know we wish Slonger was with us. And
right, for sure.
But no, dude, I don't got an answer for that one. I don't know, but I mean they got 3 winners, so
yeah.
Yes, they did.
It's pretty big deal, dude. It's a pretty cool situation.
Right.
Yeah. So we kind of touched on this earlier. You playing football your senior year. Let it not be lost to the viewers here. This guy was an athlete in high school. So then that's 4 more sports than I played. So props to you, Jeff. Is there any sport right now that you would that you miss most?
I think about basketball from time to time. I actually just thought about basketball the other day when I was talking to my brother's fiance. We ended up talking about the holiday tournament, and she's like, "What's that?" And you had to kind of explain to her that it was it's kind of a big deal in the area when you're a high school kid and everything. But I mean, I miss high school basketball a little bit. I wish I could have been a little bit better, I guess. I wish I could have just made a few changes with as far as that goes to, you know, be better. You know what I mean? And, you know, that's something you can't get back. Right. I definitely worked hard, don't get me wrong. But I wish I could have I wish I would have drove to the hoop a little more. The whole 9 yards. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. But the most, I mean, I'd say the most I missed is football for sure. I had a
Football.
hell of a time playing football. It was just the feeling that you get is a pretty cool situation, and just the butterflies and when the game's happening, you kind of lose it. All adrenaline's up for the rest of the game, and it was just fun. It was fun.
DB, I'm going to cut you off real quick. Jeff, you played 10 high school football games. Did any colleges talk to you about playing football at the next level that didn't know about the baseball aspect of your life at that point? Because, you pretty much wake up one day and you decide you're playing senior year and you become all state. You're like one of the top interception guys in the state of Pennsylvania. You hadn't played football in 6 years. Like, did anybody reach out to you and say, hey, you want to play safety for us next year? Like,
I'm not 100% sure on that.
Okay.
I feel like I've heard one time from my coach under his breath that he was telling colleges that it didn't matter because I was already committed somewhere.
Yeah.
I'm not sure though. I'm not 100% sure, but I would like to believe that that's what he was saying the one time, or
Yeah.
that's what he was hinting at.
Yeah, I think there was probably some colleges
Gotcha.
that would have liked your
I
service.
probably wouldn't think anything big. Maybe D3, probably D3. I would think. I don't know.
Doesn't matter. I think a lot of people are better
No.
with Jeff Wehler in the secondary. I don't care who it is.
Right. Right. No, and that's Jeff, and that's amazing thing. I don't mean to keep prolonging. I got to get on to the question, but I just got to say this: that's not a common thing that someone just picks up a sport after so many years and could play at the collegiate level, no matter the division. You know what I mean? So that just speaks volume, deal. But this is I wrote this one, so I'm excited to hear your answer on this. All right. As a young kid who dreamed about being a pro baseball player, or Nate did, he wrote it. What do you think about the stage and how special this is? And how does it keep you motivated since you've not reached the apex of your overall goal?
Dude, there are times where I just kind of sit back and think about how cool it is. You know what I mean? But at the same time, I just I feel like I'm the same person, and that'll never change. You know what I mean? I'm playing the game I love, and I'm playing it. I'm playing in the minor leagues. You know what I mean? That's a cool thing to say, and I've reached levels that not many people can say that they made it to. But yeah, it's kind of weird. It's because when you're sitting there playing Double A baseball, which when you were a kid and you went to the Altoona Curve games or Erie Seawolves games, you're like, these dudes are legit. You know what I mean? And then it's then you find out that you're there, and it just feels weird because you used to be a kid watching these guys and just being like, holy smokes, this would be the coolest feeling in the world. And then you get there and, it's just baseball, it's baseball at a high level, and it's fun to be a part of. You know what I mean? What was the second half of that, Bill?
I guess, should I scroll down? How do you stay motivated? Because you're not at the ultimate goal yet that you have for yourself. How do you keep staying hungry?
Dude, so I always thought to myself is, sometimes you sit back after, a tough couple games, and sometimes you think that you're not good enough to play this sport because, it's just how baseball goes. You know what I mean? You have ups and downs. You got to stay even keel, but there are moments where you're just like, do I even belong here? And when you sit there and think about that, who do you rely on? Me, I got a great family. My family is, the best family a kid could ever have, and we're very blessed. But the support from them is unbelievable. You know what I mean? They keep me going. I want to make them happy, and for even guys like you, I always think about this too. Is no matter how high I get, I want you guys to be happy to know me. I want you to be happy to know that the person I am. You know what I mean? That's kind of what I strive for. Is Jeff's a good kid, and I'm happy that he made it there, and he deserves everything, and that's why that's who I want to be. That's kind of how I want people to look at me, and so it's a lot of like my family, but it's also people like you. Just I want you guys to say I'm glad I know that kid. He's done nothing wrong. He was never in the paper. So that's what keeps me going. It's just people to be proud to know me and my family.
Jeff, you're getting me teary-eyed over here a little bit. I got to say this. The amount, and I think Nate can speak this, and maybe even Trevor, that post that you made when you signed, the amount of shares, comments, likes, when I saw that, I was like, oh my God, like this is awesome. You know what I mean? Because when anybody from our area makes that, that's just the pinnacle. And it's an honor to know you and know of your career. So Nate, I didn't mean to interject there, but I had to throw that out.
No, I did it to you, not to Trevor. So.
No.
I was going to say, Jeff, your name's been in the paper, but not for the reasons that you were saying. It's been in there because you've done some pretty good stuff for these years, man. You've strung together some good days, some good games, a pretty strong career for sure. But one thing I want to ask you, it's a pretty random question. They say in sports, hitting a baseball is one of the hardest things you can do. And I don't think there's anybody that can deny it, and if they're denying it, they're crazy in my personal, humble opinion. Want to know if you think baseball is the hardest sport, or maybe there's something else that you think might be equally tough. There's a lot of sports out there, but is there something that you kind of ponder, like, this baseball thing's hard, but like, I think that, so-and-so sport might be pretty difficult to do too.
Dude, there's actually this was kind of a topic on the bus one time when we were coming back from Eugene, Oregon, back to Vancouver. There was 3 sports, and I forget the third one, which was actually the contender for baseball. Someone said a 300 bowling game.
Yeah.
I mean, that's repetition as well as golf. If you practice that, you can get to it. Anyone can master it. You know what I mean? Like you don't even have to be an athlete in those sports sometimes, and you can actually succeed in them. And I liked golf, but sometimes when I'd lose the kids that, weren't even close to my skill level, I'd actually get really irritated. And that's why I steer away from golf a little bit. It was like, how the hell is this guy beating me right now? You know what I mean? But no, I think baseball's up there for sure. Baseball is probably one of the hardest things to do, especially when it's moving and, some of the velocities and some of the movement that these guys have in the zone and, in and out of the zone. It's something special. So, yeah, I'd say baseball's probably the hardest.
Yeah. Yeah. I think hockey's pretty hard. I've never even been on the ice. It terrifies me. What do you think?
Let me go on my phone real quick. I actually got into an argument one time over it with this one person, but it wasn't baseball. She said something about this being the hardest sport, and then I actually mentioned a really good sport.
Okay.
That was actually harder. Give me a second if I can find it.
Okay.
No, Nate, I can tell you from playing rec league hockey, you need all the endurance in the world in that sport.
And to do
and
it,
I wasn't even wearing like pads or anything. Like these guys are wearing all the protective gear that they have to wear that just literally insulates your entire body. I was wearing a t-shirt and shorts, and I was fuming. Granted, like I told you, I'm not an athlete, but still.
Yeah, and like the other part to it, for me, Trevor, is you're doing it at full speed with unbelievable skill, with a stick and a puck on ice skates with your full body weight plus 20, 30, 40 pounds of pads and a helmet. Like, yes, it's unbelievable to me. None of us that I know of, unless, Jeff, I don't know you insanely well, unless, I'm mistaken. None of us have really played hockey. So, like, I think that's another one that's really, really difficult as well. I'm not taking away from baseball because I wasn't a very good baseball player, but seeing Josh Mitchell and Brandon Schlim fastball growing up, that was enough to know I wasn't going anywhere very far. That's
I couldn't find it.
No, that's okay.
Couldn't find it.
It was just it was a comparison where what athletes could go into any sport. What are what's the top?
Oh yeah.
If you would say a hockey player could play any sport, or a baseball player could play any sport, it was something like that. And I think hockey players are actually up there in that category. Like, I don't think basketball players could play every sport.
I agree. I
know baseball players are really good athletes. So
Yep.
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Them are hockey.
Absolutely. You'd be surprised how many, if you look at like the background of NFL kickers, their athletic backgrounds, kind of insane as well. That multi-sport athletes and just nuts.
Yeah.
Moving on here, Jeff, what's your pregame routine? Do you have any like meditation, listen to music, anything like that?
No, dude, not really. I mean, it depends. Depends what kind of mood I'm in, I guess.
Fair enough. Yeah.
If I go through a nice little stretch, I take a shower before every game. It's what I do I don't know. It's just, sometimes it just happens, and I just be like, oh, all right, I gotta do this tomorrow too. But it's nothing crazy. It's not like I say I say an Our Father before a game during the anthem, and just thank him for what I got, you know what I mean? And
Absolutely.
Give me an opportunity to be here. That's probably my only true ritual that I have, and my most consistent ritual is just a few thank yous and an Our Father.
Right on. No, Jeff, I mean, there's a lot of athletes you could pick from, when you were younger that you could look up to, but who's your favorite athlete when you were growing up?
Bryce Harper was probably my favorite athlete growing up. I really enjoy Sidney Crosby too. So.
Okay. Oh, there you go, bud. There you go.
I'm a big Sid the Kid fan.
Okay.
I almost actually drank with Sid one night.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Well, we gotta hear this.
That's a good story. Dude, this is and I actually still kick myself in the butt still till this day.
Yeah.
Me and my buddy would always go visit one of the owners at the local bar in Oakland. We'd go hang out with them and watch a couple sports, shoot the garbage. One night we got back. He texted us when we were flying back from Miami and said, "Hey, you want to go to Mario's? My buddy who owns it is closing down the bar but keeping it open." And I was like, dude, I just had a really rough week. I said, I don't know if I really want to go out or not. And, my one buddy in the group chat was like, yeah, dude, I'll go. And so he picked my buddy up and they ended up going down to Mario's. And they were sitting there drinking and hanging out. And the owner of the one bar goes up to him, and our buddy goes up to him and says, hey, you know who you're sitting next to? And my one buddy goes, no, man, he's been buying me shots all night. He's a really good guy. And our buddy goes, dude, that's freaking Sidney Crosby.
Wow.
So I was just a yes away from drinking with Sid the Kid.
Oh, damn. Oh, and I can tell by the way you're telling it, you would have recognized who you're drinking with too.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
He's from California, dude. He has no clue about hockey or anything.
Okay.
I'm sure they got hockey out there, but he could give he doesn't give any he knows nothing about hockey.
Right. No. Yeah.
Next to Sid at Mario's, Sid's buying him drinks, and he has no clue who he is.
Gosh.
I got a quick follow up to that. If you would have gone out, would you have told your buddy who he was drinking with, or would you just kept egging him on?
I would have sat right next to him. He wouldn't have been close to him.
Oh, okay. That's
crazy.
Good answer.
Yeah. Correct me if I'm wrong, Jeff. This one came to me too. think were you college teammates with Ron Washington's son, Ron Washington Jr.? Am I right on that?
So that is just a coincidence.
Really? That's
Yes.
so weird.
That's a coincidence.
Wow.
Yeah. He's a really good kid, dude. He's a fun person. He's a really good friend of mine too. But he always gets that, man. He always gets, dude, you're Ron Washington's son. Sometimes he'll play it off like he is, but other times he'll be like, nah, dude, there's no relation.
Trap. And I had a next question to follow up with that. I was gonna say, have you had the opportunity to talk with him if that was his son about Ron becoming a manager again? Well, you have not, so oh geez.
Sorry, Nate.
No, it's all good, man. No, that fooled me. That really fooled me. I didn't do enough research for sure. But I want to know a little bit about playing for Devin Mesoraco, obviously a District 9 legend. You know, you had the opportunity to play for him at Pitt. What was it like to have someone from D9 on the staff with you at Pitt, you know, and to kind of guide you through like being a small town kid like he was, and, you know, obviously went on to be an MLB All-Star. What was it like to connect with him, you know, for that year?
I mean, you wouldn't be surprised when I say this, but his knowledge for the game is crazy. You know, he was a major league catcher. He'd call his own games, and that's, you know, if you have an understanding of that and understand how that works, like that's a big deal.
It's rare.
You know, it is rare in this, you know, in this day and age, and you know, he would run the pitching meetings sometimes. From what I've heard, he would run the pitching meetings, and the coaches would just sit back, and he would kind of talk about plan of attack to this guy, and no, but he was a good role model, and he's a best friend. After I graduated from Pitt, you know, we talked a couple times a month, and you know, it's nothing but, hey, how's your family doing? How are you doing? You know, just basic talks, and you know, he'd go over to the house every once in a while, and you know, hang out with them, and you know, he's a really good guy, and you know, someone, you know, that I look up to, and you know, it's a cool situation.
Right. I had one opportunity to speak with Devin for a piece I wrote. He's so humble. Like,
Very humble.
It's just like, this dude was a first-round draft pick out of Punxsutawney area high school. That doesn't happen very often. He's an MLB All-Star. That doesn't happen very often.
No.
And have a conversation with this guy. And he's just so humble. He takes everything in with such stride. Like, he just seems like a really solid dude. And like you said, he was saying things to me, like his memory and recall about some of the experiences had. I'm like, man, this guy's special. Like,
yeah.
So I'm not surprised to hear you say that at all. So sorry for taking up all of Trevor's time here.
Oh, no, you're good, Nate. You're good, Nate. This is all good stuff. I forgot about the Devin Mesoraco business. So, no, very good insight there. So, Jeff, we know, obviously, big-time baseball athlete. What's your favorite sport to watch, though? What do you like to watch?
Football, without a doubt.
Football.
Dude, I'd never watch baseball. I can't really watch it, you know.
Well, all right.
Fair enough.
It's actually hard for me to watch at times. I'll watch postseason. I'll tune into postseason every night.
Yeah,
and,
absolutely.
I like college postseason as well. So, but you know, I probably watched before the playoffs. I probably only watched two games before the postseason.
Wow.
But I mean, I'll go in person and watch it anytime. Because that's that's when you actually get to see those guys do their thing, and you know how they go about their business. That it's stuff that the TV can't show. You know what I mean? And I always enjoyed going to the games and watching them because you know they're big leaguers, and you get to see how they go about their business. You know, so that's the worst sport to watch, like on TV, without a doubt.
It's better now with the rule changes, making the game a little bit quicker and a little more digestible. But Yeah, I'll always prefer, well, especially because I live in Pittsburgh, going to PNC Park to watch a game versus watching it on TV. I'm in full agreement with you. Much better to watch it in person.
Yeah. Yeah. Jeff, I got to throw out here because we had a question before about how rigorous your travel was. You already touched on, I mean, you were all over the place. But do you think college prepared you for what you're experiencing now, or it wasn't even close to what you experienced?
I'd say it's pretty close.
Okay.
I'd say it's pretty close for sure. Especially at a mid-major school at Pitt, you'd fly to a lot of places.
Right.
Mid-major, you'd fly to like the first two games or the first two series of the year, and that's when you head down to Florida or a southern school.
Yep.
Play them, but mid-major prepared me for it for sure. And also, I mean, I've been doing that my whole life. We drove down to Florida one time, my dad and I, and North Carolina, Georgia. I drove all over. My parents drove me all over the place to pursue my dream, and so that, I mean, just kind of been doing it my whole life. But
Okay.
I'd definitely say mid-major was definitely a wake-up call.
Okay. I gotcha.
We gave shout outs to a lot of guys in District 9 in this episode. There's a lot of guys, in our area. Well, there's not, but we know the guys, and it feels like a lot, even because we get to know them, which is super special about our area. The guys that have played, at the minor league level, whether it be Jesse Bosnick, Ryan Uhl, obviously Joe Beimel played, in MLB, who I'm sure that you've probably met several times over the years as well. Josh Mitchell, et cetera, et cetera. I'm not trying to miss anybody or slight anybody. There's a lot, there's a decent amount though.
Yeah.
Have you talked to those guys a lot about their journey? Cole, obviously, as we, another one, Cole Peterson. Have you talked with those guys at all over the years to kind of like get some insight, or have you just kind of like feel like you're ready to just let it rip? What can you say about kind of the brotherhood of, District 9 Elk County and those guys that have gotten the chance to do this? Because, there's a small little brotherhood of you guys for sure.
Yeah. No, I don't get a hold of those guys much. I wish I did a little bit, but they're off doing their thing, and I'm doing my thing. But I'm like, if I had a question, I'm sure I could reach out to him. Like I reached out to Josh Mitchell once or twice to, ask him about his situation, and Adam Fox was always a big help to me when it came to that stuff. But I remember I asked Josh a little bit about the draft. I Adam Fox about the draft, and then I talked to Joe a little bit about independent ball because he knows a little bit about it. And but that's about it, man. If I see Cole, I talk to him. You know what I mean? We'll shoot the shit and hang out, but don't really talk to him on the phone much.
Sure.
Gotcha. Yeah. No.
Oh, crap, it's me.
It's all right, Trevor.
Trevor's drunk off of one beer.
Hey, I weigh $150 soaking wet. I'm sorry. Not gonna lie to you, I had a Jack and Coke right before this too. So.
That's what did it.
That's exactly what did it. It was half Jack, half Coke. So that
50. I love it.
Yeah, it was Jack honey though. It was delicious. It was you put the honey and the lemon in there. It's great. It's fantastic. One of the best drinks that I make. We've been touching on a lot of different sports throughout the podcast that you've played, Jeff. What is one sport that you would have wished you tried in college? I know we talked about you possibly getting recruited in football, maybe rumblings of that. Are we going back to football again, or what do we think?
Dude, probably football.
Football
for sure. Basketball, you know how that goes. Just, I'm not a basketball player. I might be decent around here, but I probably couldn't hack it out up there. But I feel like if I got a little bit stronger, I might be able to compete for something in like in football realm. You know what I mean? But for sure, I always thought about football. Never thought about actually playing, like hanging up my cleats on baseball and playing football. But you sit there,
right? Yeah.
what happened if I would play football, or, you know, that'd be a fun sport to play.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
I think you could have played basketball, to be honest, Jeff. But anyways, that's besides the point. But what do you think, though? Seriously, and this is a question I always ask athletes, not even in episodes. What created the fire in you, going through, you know, the transition from high school to college? You know, you're a freshman, you're the youngest guy on the team at points. I mean, what's the fire and desire that you have? Where's it come from?
My father, for sure.
Right on.
Yeah, my dad's always, you know, I always try to rise to the occasion, and, you know, my dad always just lets me know that, you know, I am good enough to be where I am. And so I think it's a lot of my father, but, you know, at the same time, dude, I mean, with the stuff that's happened to me, sometimes it's just, you know, it's internal. It's an internal fire that, you know, I don't want to say I've been mistreated. I just got the short end of the stick. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And every time I'm doing something new, or every game, it's just always, you know, to prove yourself. And proving myself is, you know, what I got to do. And, you know, let the people that didn't give me the opportunity kind of, you know, rethink it. Yeah, so
I don't want to cut off Nate here, but Jeff, there's been times that we've been compared in athletic wise. Like, I'm going to do what I'm going to do, and I'm going to block out what's going on, and that's what I love about you the most. I mean that. Because, I mean, you're going to have doubters, but I'm telling you, you're knocking down walls, and it's been an honor to watch you. I mean, I said it in our promo, but I really enjoy the journey you've taken us on, and we got to watch. So go ahead, Nate. I'm sorry. I keep throwing stuff out here. I'm just so excited he's on here talking with us. I'm just no
worries at all.
Okay.
Kind of a two-parter for this one, Jeff. So I'm not sure how much you've had the opportunity to face the Knuckleballers, the submarine pitchers, any of that stuff. Have you seen it at all throughout the years here at all? How do you adjust? You know, I don't know much about that. I never saw it. So I want to know how much you've seen it, and what the approach is for guys when they get up there and they're taking swings at guys throwing from different arm angles, different pitches that they rarely see. What do you do when you're up there?
You just kind of got to dumb it down.
Okay.
I never seen a knuckleballer.
Okay.
I've seen a lot of side armors, but obviously not the same as, you know, you're over the top guys. But side armors are a little bit more difficult to see, man. They are, because it's, you know, you're used to seeing something up here, and now it's down here, and but you just got to switch your approach. You got to know if a side armor who's right-handed against a right-handed batter, ball's in the middle of the plate, it's gonna be inside. So you got to just kind of think about, like, you know, you got to tunnel where that ball is going to be. And that's how it goes with, you know, guys who have wiffle ball movement that throw 96, 97. You know, it's a little bit more difficult because, you know, it's coming quicker. But those are the things you got to look at. You got to look at, you know, so if this ball starts middle, or anywhere up the middle of the strike zone, it's going to fade off. You know what I mean? It's gonna come inside. So those are the ones you let go. When they're trying to pound the outside, that's going to be middle. So those are the things you look for, and, you know, it's just having a good approach against those guys, and, you know, watching film.
The other part to it was, I've always admired your versatility in the field. You know, you played everywhere. You know, pretty much everything but pitcher and catcher, I feel like you can do with success. You know, I think every position you're pretty equipped to handle. How have you handled it, though? I think you played different positions in college. I think maybe you've even been thrown a little bit in different positions through the minors. How do you stay prepared? You did take more infield. Like, is it as simple as that? Like, how do you adjust to getting thrown around on the defensive side as well?
Dude, it's tough sometimes, but, you know, it's something to be proud of. You know what I mean? it helps my chances to move up the ranks. It helps my chances to help my team out wherever they need me, and to do it at a high level and to be successful with it. It's pretty hard. I played every position in college other than pitcher and catcher, and I played first base, left field, second, and third in pro ball. So it's just those things that you kind of got to stay on top of. You know what I mean? You got to take extra reps every once in a while to just, stay prepared just in case they need you. And I mean, if I'm playing third one day, I'm taking it at third. But if I'm off and I'm not playing, I'm going somewhere else. I'll go to left field and shag fly balls. I'll go to second base, do some field work. Or I'll catch up for, the infielders at first base to work on my footwork and all that stuff. But for the most part, you have coaches that you do pregame stuff. You do pregame individuals where, hey, I want to get work at first base today. Can we go out there? And, there's a time for that where, Jeff Wehler's got to go out this certain time and you got 15-minute slot to, perfect your craft or work on it. And, yeah, man, it's a cool situation for sure. And, it just is what it is. You know what I mean? And, at the end of the day, and you guys didn't bring this up, but it's true. There's a lot of young kids just saying I'm a pitcher only, and I'm only going to work at pitcher. Like, it's not how it is, because at the end of the day, when you go to college, they're picking your position for you. And it's true, because at one school you recruit a bunch of shortstops, and when those shortstops got in, they're throwing you in the outfield, they're throwing you at second base, because that's your most athletic position in high school. And usually those guys, if there's ever a really position to get recruited, it's from shortstop. And those guys will come in and think it's shortstop, but it's not bad to play different positions. Like, something to be proud of over, something to not be happy about.
Right. Yeah. You were a pitcher for a little bit there. I think when they needed a couple extra arms back in high school, you threw a little bit, but
dude, I wasn't good at all.
Yeah, but Jeff, you can throw strikes, and that's sometimes is
strikes, but I would always get smoked somehow. I'd make good pitches, but it just would never work out for me.
I don't know. Maybe it's the arm angle. Maybe they could see the pitch coming.
I don't know what it was, but
well, if you could play,
I threw like 4 innings one summer when I was 13 years old, and I think my ERA was 58.
That was it after that, Jeff.
And my dad never liked me throwing either, because if I was going to play the game for a long time, and I only got one arm, but he'd always be like, just go to another position or work at shortstop a little more. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's interesting to hear that, because you kind of hear a lot of people get pushed into pitching and catching. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So it's kind of refreshing to hear it from your perspective. It's like, no, my dad wanted me to do everything but those two things, and if I do fine, it doesn't. But
no, I mean, and I played with a guy who threw 98 across the diamond, and he couldn't hit out a wet paper bag, so they said, "You're a pitcher now." You know what I mean? Yeah. So he's just right off the mound, and
wow.
Yeah, no, that's especially important now with baseball is seemingly becoming positionless. I know this is kind of an aside, but playing fantasy baseball last year, there was a lot of guys listed at second base, outfield, catcher, multiple positions, which made it easy to pick up guys. But it's kind of a testament to you have to be willing to adapt.
Absolutely.
And in addition to Jeff, you playing positionless baseball and mashing the hell out of the baseball, you know how to steal some bases too. Nate, I believe you told me all-time leader in the Horizon League in stolen bases.
Yeah, Youngstown State for sure.
Or Youngstown State.
Youngstown State, I was really close.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think I'm single season, second, fourth.
Single season. Okay.
I think a couple times. I don't know, something like that. But I was like, if I would have stayed at Youngstown, I think I would have broke like 4 or 5 records.
Gotcha.
It's just
So-
an everyday thing, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. For Jeff Wehler, that's child's play, I guess. But
Man.
so I guess my question is, Jeff, what do you do to improve your speed and agility as you rise through the ranks of professional baseball?
Just work out, honestly. I really don't know how to improve my speed. It's usually the people who train me know how to. So I just usually do what they
Fair
tell me
enough.
to do, and hopefully I gain some speed. I mean that's all I really got for you. I know I'm decent at reading pictures too. That's a gift that I have. And
Oh yeah.
I wasn't always the quickest, but I could read pictures, and then I ended up getting a little bit faster, and so I mean, at the end of the day, you're stealing off the pitcher, not the catcher. Just for everyone listening,
Yeah.
that's what you're stealing off of.
And I guess, Jeff, I mean, I played a little baseball back in my day, not even close to your level. But did you develop that
could've,
strategy?
You could have.
We'll talk after. Did you develop that strategy at a young age, do you feel? Or did you gain that through your travels in high school and in college?
As far as base stealing goes,
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
was all when I got really good was the assistant coach at Youngstown State.
Okay.
He was really good at it, and he ended up teaching me a lot of things about stealing, and
Right.
he hooked me on to Cocoa Crisp. Cocoa Crisp, you know what Cocoa Crisp is?
Oh yeah.
Nate,
Oh,
do you know
yeah.
what it is?
Yeah. You are you talking the cereal or are you talking like outfielder Cocoa Crisp?
Outfielder Cocoa Crisp.
I know who
Yeah.
he is.
Yeah, no. So I talked to him for 2 hours or so, and we talked about base stealing and got a little more knowledge from him. And so
That's cool.
I got thrown out a lot in pro ball, though.
Gotta make some tweaks. I'm sure you already are.
Every throw was on the every throw. A lot of the throws were on the money, so you can't beat a good throw a lot of the time, and
Yeah.
I'd always get smoked.
Right. And just to interject here, Jeff, from the running side of it, you have to have some fast twitch muscles there. I mean, you're coming out pretty good. I mean, I watched some of your highlights, so you're not slow by any means. Let's not.
I run 20 miles per hour. That's what I run.
What is it?
20.
20?
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty good.
That's
Pretty good. That's pretty good.
With the Blue Jays, we wear this device on our back. I don't know if you guys seen pictures, but it's catapult, and it tells you how many throws you made, how many times you accelerated, how many swings you had, just pretty much everything, and then it tells you how fast you run. So
wow.
my top is 20 miles per hour.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
There you go.
That's really good.
Yeah, that's probably double what I can run. So
Yeah.
Right, it's probably triple what I can run.
yeah.
Yeah, man. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I want to talk a little bit about football. We've talked about it a little bit. What do you think about the Pittsburgh Steelers? I think you're a Steelers fan, right? Am I right on that? Yeah. You think about some of the way this season's going. We've been outgained in every game but one. We've gotten rid of Matt Canada. We have a 7-4 record. We have the Arizona Cardinals coming to town. Where are you at with this soap opera that we're on here this season, Jeff?
Well, I don't want to say I'm completely a believer in Kenny, but I know he's got it.
Okay.
I was a big Kenny guy, and then towards the end of last year he started proving himself and playing better ball, and then this year didn't start off so hot. So then I started losing a little bit of hope, but I always had it. I still have it, and sometimes you got to think it. It's not the bat; it's the guy swinging it, and it wasn't the guy swinging it no more. It was the bat. It was Matt Canada. We needed to get rid of him.
Right.
Yeah, I saw your posts on X about that. Those were honestly some of the better takes on Matt Canada that I've seen. No, that's okay. You trust me. I'm down in Pittsburgh. I'm in the shit. I got the vibe. They're literally chanting. They're literally chanting "Fire Canada" over in Utah and down over in James Madison and at Penguins games and all that.
He never targeted the middle of the field.
No! Oh my God! When we made that first pass to Fryermuth,
It was like the first 5 passes of the game until the Bengals realized that we were thrown in the middle of the field today.
Yes.
I was like, is that allowed? Like, are we allowed to do that? Like,
Right.
We're attacking the cover 2 look in the middle of the field? What is this?
Yeah. Who would have thought?
I thought a meteor was going to fly out.
Then we forced him to guard the middle of the field, and then we threw one deep down the sideline.
It's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Then that opens up your run game.
Right.
That's just it. That's what it did with Najee. I cashed in on him. Anytime touchdown. He scored our only touchdown. I cashed in on it.
Right.
But no, and any college teams, Jeff, or just pro ball for football?
Penn State football fan.
Penn State football. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm glad you said that, even if you went to Pitt.
Yeah.
I was going to say they didn't sway you, did they?
I will never lose that.
Good.
I'm a big Pitt volleyball fan though.
Yeah, they're really
That's fair. That's fair.
Pitt Sockers are really good.
Yep. Yeah.
Wrestling's good, but I'm a Penn State wrestling guy too.
Heck yeah.
Oh yes.
And then
Yes.
Pitt baseball. I'll support Pitt baseball.
Well, yeah. Right.
You're kind of obligated at this point, but yes.
Right.
But yeah, we kind of touched on this earlier. You being from L County, you said you love to hunt, and yes, I stalked your Instagram. Like the good journalist that I am, I stalked your socials and all that. Saw all the hunting photos he had on there. Nice 8-point, by the way. It was very nice. So, do you got any hunting stories for us? And what's the biggest, quote unquote, biggest catch you've ever had, or biggest thing you've ever shot?
I had 150 class 8-point, I think 4 years ago was the biggest thing I ever shot. It was a really nice buck. I was hunting that one for like 4 years. He ended up coming out.
Wow.
There you go.
Me and my boss at the time, and he's got a few acres, and we would always farm them. We'd always put food plots out, and we're trying to grow, some buck, and we were hunting him for years, and ended up getting them.
Heck yeah.
But yeah, I mean, he does a lot with people who always dreamed of killing deer, and so on that land, you're bringing people who have cancer and who want to shoot a deer, and people who have, I think, a bad case of cerebral palsy. A girl's coming in town this week. She's trying to shoot a buck this year. She can't even walk. So I'm taking her out hunting Friday, and I'm gonna sit in the line with her and her father, and hopefully we can get a deer for her. And it's something she enjoys doing. So, and then she got like a cool setup, man. She's got a scope on her phone, and the gun just kind of goes wherever her phone is. So there's a camera on the gun, and she blows, and the gun will go off. She's got a straw in her mouth, and she'll blow, and the gun will shoot. So
that's awesome.
She enjoys it.
Very cool.
Yeah, that's awesome, Jeff.
Yeah, that's awesome, Jeff.
Yeah.
I'm glad that you mentioned that. It's one of those adaptive, technologies that I didn't even know about, but I'm so glad that it's available for these folks that deal with these issues.
Yeah.
It's a memory that they'll never forget. And some you will never forget too, to have that opportunity to help her out with that too. So I'm glad you said that. That's really awesome for sure.
Yeah. And when he asked me to do it, I was absolutely, I will do it. You know what I mean? I said, I want to do it because I said it'll probably be the most touching thing I've ever did in my life, to be honest. You know what I mean? It's making her happy. Because at the end of the day, she's happy. She's doing something she always wanted to do, and
Right.
it'll be a cool situation for sure.
Yeah. But yeah, so keeping up with your socials here, Jeff. We stalked you for the last week or two just to make sure we got everything covered. What does believer mean from your Instagram bio? What's that mean to you?
It means everything to me, dude.
Okay.
Just I'm a believer in God. I told you guys back earlier in the interview, I said that, you know, when I started praying a little more, stuff started going my way. And I couldn't say that more serious. I pray in the morning, before the game, national anthem, I pray, and then, you know, I pray at night. And when I started doing that and I started, you know, talking to him a little more, things started to go my way, and, you know, and it's not going unnoticed, you know? So, it's a pretty cool situation, and, you know, I'm a believer, you know?
Is it bigger than that too, Jeff? Is that there, obviously, you know, your faith in God, but is that your faith in you too? Like, I deserve to be here. I deserve this too. Like, is it partially that too? Because like, I know I'm a believer in you. You know, ever since I've been on the field with you, I'm like, man, this kid could be pretty special. You know,
Yeah.
and then I got blown out by in JV basketball, and that made me even more of a believer too. But no, on a serious note, is that partially like I believe in me too? I believe I'm supposed to be here. Believe I'm supposed to be doing this. Believe I can, because like there's that aspect to it as well.
Absolutely, man. And probably wouldn't be where I am today, obviously, without God, but without believing in myself. And you know, and when I start to doubt my belief, I got great friends and great family that, you know, will pick me up off the ground and, you know, make me believe. And my support cast is, you know, some of the reason why I'm here today too. So I'm thankful for everyone.
Right. You know, that was a pretty serious note. Now this one's a much less serious note. He has this wonderful question. You know, me, Trevor, and DB are looking to grow our hair out and get this flow going like you have. So we want to know some insights. So what's the secret to this beautiful facial hair and beautiful flow that you have? Because you've had it going for a while,
dude. I don't even know. It's God given, I guess.
Yeah, you're one of the lucky ones, huh, Jeff. I guess.
I said God given and genes. You know what I mean? I am losing just a little bit on the sides though, but it's all right. I don't think it'll go too bad.
No.
My grandpa's both had good head of hair, but I believe it's your mom's father is what they say.
I can definitely say I have my mom's hair because it grows out. If I tried to grow it to your length, it would be up to where you couldn't see it on the camera.
Jackie Moon.
So,
Jackie Moon.
Well, it's the weird thing. It's straight, but it grows thick. I hate that, but I always say if I could grow that sort of Kentucky waterfall, I'd be rocking it all the time.
So
unfortunately, I can't do it. What's up?
It?
I mean, I'll do it.
January 1st we'll start, and then we'll cut it at January 2nd.
All right.
Oh boy.
Like I mean, if one goes in, all three gotta go in.
Hey, I'm down. I just got to increase my head and shoulders budget. That's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, Jeff has some Pittsburgh connections. Maybe he can get us on the Head and Shoulders Palamalu stuff, and we'll be right there.
Yeah.
I got connections. I don't know how big time of connections I got. I don't know if I can get involved with Troy Polamalu. I probably could if I wanted to, because I know some higher ups, but I doubt it.
If you would have went out with Sidney Crosby that night, I think you would have met Troy Polamalu by now, and we wouldn't have to worry about this. No,
Sid and I'd probably hang out all the time now. If I went.
Oh my God, yeah. Yeah, we'd get Sid on this podcast through Jeffrey Wehler, and then we'd, you know.
I'd be banging front row on the glass.
Oh yeah. Oh my God, yeah.
That would be amazing.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Oh goodness. Well, transitioning from that lovely conversation.
Wait, time out. Are we doing it? I mean, I don't know what I'm doing.
I'll do it live. I'll do it with you. I have no restrictions.
Yeah. So what? We got to start January 1, 24 and just see what happens.
Write it out.
Oh,
Okay. All right.
Hey,
Which means I got to get it cut on December 30th, but that's fine.
All right. That's okay.
No, hey, I'm down. I'm down. Well,
season, Nate. I'm just asking for the end of the season.
it can't hurt me if I do this, so I might be. I got to ponder it.
Well, hey, Jeff, you're batting 2 for 3, so
yeah,
that's 2 of us. That's pretty good. There you go. I'll remember. Of the few things I do remember, I'll remember that. Kind of going with kind of the easygoing questions here. If you weren't playing baseball, Jeff, if you weren't playing a sport at all, what would you be doing right now?
Dude, my dream was always to have my own ranch. Being honest, I always wanted to be like a cattle farmer.
What?
Yeah.
All right.
So I always wanted to do that. I don't know if I'd be doing that right now, but when I actually quit baseball for a couple months, that was like a big thought in my mind was I want to buy land and maybe have a few cows and maybe work. You can't make much money off of that right away or if any. So I'd probably try to work online or something.
Okay.
So work online and then just have a little ranch. That's what I wanted to do.
That's sweet. That's awesome.
I dig it.
I guess, too, Jeff, what did you major in college?
So I was general studies, and then it was environmental health and safety and business.
Okay.
So those are my 2 areas of focus. And then when I transferred with the NCAA rules, I needed 90% of my credits to transfer. And so I had to switch majors, which wasn't too far from general studies. It was just communications.
Okay.
But it has a good communications program, and better than Youngstown State General Studies, I can tell you that.
All right, but that kind of ties into my question. You're going to have a long career, and you have a long career ahead of you. But any thoughts, life after baseball? I know you just said the cattle farm, which was a curveball for me. But anything else, though, Jeff? I mean, after this stage now.
Just the American dream, living comfortably, having a nice wife and, God willing, have a few kids, just be happy. You know what I mean? At some point, maybe try to get her back home and do what I love and hang around the people that I love.
So you like the backwoods more than the city?
Absolutely.
Okay. I agree with you. That's a beautiful thing. Okay. Yeah.
When I went to Pitt, I didn't like it at first, dude.
Yeah.
Not at all. But I ended up getting a soft spot for it because, I lived there for a year and it's a pretty cool city. It's not too big and you can do a lot of stuff there. So,
yeah. Every time I go to that city, I get in a little trouble. So, it's like an every 6-month thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you probably had a TC.
Wait, what?
You probably had the Tequila Cowboy.
I've been there. I've had great times. We'll talk. Yeah, I don't want to screw up your interview. This is. We'll talk after.
Either do I, Billy. Either do I.
Next question. All right, go ahead.
Yeah. So I think DB has the next set of questions. It's our 7th inning stretch questions. It's rapid fire one. So I want DB to take over his.
Oh no, that's me, buddy. That's me. Yeah.
I can't. I'm not.
Billy doesn't have the composure.
I was going to say, you brought up Tequila Cowboy. He's all flustered now, so
he doesn't know what to say anymore.
He just got bad memories.
We're asking him to say words rapid fire after we brought up TC. That's not going to work.
Thinking of green tea shots right now and a whole bunch of different things.
Maybe in a couple years, if I'm back on here, I'll come up with my TC wild wild questions,
That'd be awesome.
and I'll ask Billy them.
Yes, there we go. There we go. I like it, Jeff. I like it.
Dance
Sounds
floor
like a plan,
stage.
buddy.
Dance floor stage would be the first one.
Oh,
I'd
I'm,
ask.
I'm sweating right now over the excitement that you
Really,
just
dance
brought
floor
that
stage.
up.
Uh,
Dance floor. I'm more a dance floor guy. I don't want to
You
elevated
don't like
services.
going up top.
No. I'm just like, I can't do elevated services. I don't want to be seen. I got a couple,
I agree. I got
Yeah.
a couple buddies that would hammer up on the stage. They just go up there and dance. No way.
Oh,
On the steps up too. You know them big steps on the stage.
Yeah.
that go
Oh,
one
yeah.
step,
Mhm.
that's where they hang out.
no
can't
way.
do it. I can't do it.
I just
Good
sit
for
at a table in the back and just hang out.
Yep.
There you go. Okay, so yeah, I got little inspiration from footballing with Ben Roethlisberger. I don't know if anyone here listens to that podcast. It's good, when they bring the likes of Troy Polamalu, Bill Cowher on there, and they do this thing at the end of the show. It's called the 2-minute drill, like the 2-minute drill in football. They try to answer, rapid fire questions within 2 minutes. So I kind of modified that, turned it into the 7th inning stretch. And I'm going to time this on my phone for 1 minute, 14 seconds, because that's how long, on average, Take Me Out to the Ball Game takes. Jeff, I know you've probably heard that 20,000 times at this point. Don't worry, I'm not going to sing it for you. But, I'm going to time it to where you want Billy to sing it? I can get Billy to sing it.
He probably doesn't even know it. He doesn't even play baseball. He just trying to feel.
I know.
Billy, no, shut it down. Shut it down. I'm not doing that.
No, all right. I'm gonna come out with. I'm coming out with an album next year, so don't worry about it.
All right. So I'll start the clock here, and again, rapid fire. So usually one-word answers, and then boom, on to the next one. 3, 2, 1, go. Pepsi or Coke?
Coke,
Coffee or tea?
coffee,
Dogs, cats?
dogs,
Dogs. Rather live in a big city or a small town?
small town,
Go-to ballpark food?
hot dog,
Go-to restaurant when on the road?
Wendy's,
Ooh, I love that.
Favorite sport to watch?
football,
Prefer to watch collegiate or pro athletics?
collegiate,
Favorite athlete of all time?
Bryce Harper.
Favorite athlete you've seen in person?
Dev Mesoraco,
Love it.
Who's the GOAT, LeBron or Jordan?
Jordan.
Thank you.
Come
Who
on,
could
dude.
run a better offense?
What?
Who could run a better offense, Matt Canada or you with a Madden playbook?
Matt Canada, probably.
Matt Canada.
All right.
Favorite Steeler of all time?
James Harrison.
Ooh, I like that one. The Immaculate Reception, did that ball hit the ground?
No, it didn't because we won.
Thank you. Golf, yay or nay?
Yay.
Favorite genre of music?
Country.
Go-to pregame song if you have one.
Just anything country.
Favorite TV show?
New Girl.
Ooh, I've been meaning to watch that. Going to the beach or camping?
Camping.
Favorite Christmas movie?
Probably the Grinch.
Does the Christmas season start before Thanksgiving or after Thanksgiving?
Before, and I take the Grinch back, it is Santa Claus 2.
Ooh.
Okay, thank you. I like that.
Oh.
Hot chocolate with or without marshmallows?
Without.
Without. And we're running out of time. Favorite host of this podcast?
Me.
I love that. I wasn't
There
expecting
you go.
that.
It took us a little too long, 2:12, but
That was so good.
that's all good. That's all. That would have worked for the better for the 2-minute drill because we only went 12 seconds over. But
Yeah.
no, yeah, that was all I had. That was all I had. I've been meaning to watch New Girl, by the way. I've heard it's a good time. I got to get through Trailer Park Boys first.
Dude, Trailer Park Boys is really good.
Oh yeah, It's hilarious.
I watched New like 5 times, and I started watching it a 6th time, but
Wow. All right. Right on, Jeff.
just ended up giving up on it. I got busy.
More important things going on for you.
Yeah, right.
But anything else, folks, for Jeff
Yeah.
here?
I
Okay.
had one thing. We lost this in the shuffle, but for my own peace of mind, this might be a selfish question. I want to know about your dad's athletic background. He got lost in this. We talked about your brothers, your sister.
Yep.
I don't know about your dad's background, so I wanted you to talk about the guy that kind of started this for you, your brothers, your sister, a little bit. He deserves some flowers for kind of getting you, all 4 of you, here. So I wanted you to shout out your dad, and maybe your mom as well, if she had as well.
Well, my dad isn't the only one who did it. My mom helped him.
Of course, right.
I believe my mother won districts in track once or twice.
I did hear that, Jeff.
Unbelievable.
High school.
Yes.
In high school, I think she won a few events in track.
Yes.
So she was a runner. But my dad played baseball at Penn State Maryland as well.
Jeez, man.
So then my 2 brothers followed him, and then obviously my sister became a pretty good athlete and played volleyball, and took that year off and went to Clarion, and then decided she wanted to play again, and transferred her sophomore year to play at RIT. So, Penn State Maryland, and then just a high school track runner. So
Crazy.
we had a few good athletes, and they're great parents, supported us and still do.
Yeah.
And that's how we got a couple of athletes.
Yeah.
Didn't know Barron. I guess you missed the Barron memo, man. The best people go to Barron. Your brothers can attest to it. I don't know anybody else on this show that went there, but
Yeah, so I always my brothers have an alumni golf outing, and my dad goes every once in a while. But when I saw the head coach, who also coached my brothers, I joked with him. I said, all I needed was a call, and I would have came to Penn State Barron. He started freaking out. I said, you never even called me. I said, I wanted to follow my family's footsteps. And he goes, good one. So that's an on-running joke with him.
oh my gosh, Coach Barron's a good guy. They played for a really good coach, and yeah. So that's definitely pretty cool. I'm glad you got to shout out your parents. I didn't really know much about their athletic background, so glad that you gave your mom some flowers for the district titles and your dad for the plug for Barron. Me and Dinzy are happy to hear about that. Sorry, DB.
Oh, yes.
Honors isn't the only school out there, bud. So I'm good now. I'm fired up. Now.
I got something Bonaventure in every room in this house. I just want you to know that.
Of course you do.
But
that's not a surprise whatsoever.
no. But Jeff, it was if Trevor, Nate, anything else for?
No, I'm good. I'm told you, I'm fired up now. I could run through a brick wall to know his dad went to Barron too. That's
Yeah.
But no, I say this with full heart here, Jeff. It was an honor to have you come on. We went through 30 questions with you. You didn't miss a beat. And to take time out of your day to come on and talk about your journey through the sport of baseball. It was we learned things I never knew. And I think there's a lot of people out there that learned stuff about you that they never knew about. And I appreciate it, man. I really do. And I know the two boys do as well. Any thoughts, Jeff?
No, I just appreciate you guys giving me a platform to, share my story and, hopefully turn a few heads and teach a few lessons to, the athletes behind me. And I'm just thankful for you guys having me on.
Yeah, no. But I'll sign us off here, folks, and I'm going to time this off right, okay? Because this is a running joke now with a lot of people. But yeah, this is another episode of Buckle Up with the Boys here with Jeff Wehler. It was an honor and a privilege to hear about his story. Follow his career. He has a long career ahead of him, and it was a privilege to hear his story. Have a good day. Have a good night. Stay safe out there. God bless. And all gas, no brakes, baby. All right.